What's up, my peeps? As always, thank you for listening to Headbangers and Hooligans. It's yours truly, Scummalicious. And I've met a lot of the bands and musicians that I look up to. But there's still some that I want to meet before I die. And I wanted to talk about that today. Now, before I get into that, I just kind of want to go over some of the ones I have met. Mike Muir. I remember meeting him in Atlanta, which was pretty cool, because of how nice he was after the show. Seriously. He shook everybody's hand as we left. The only thing that sucked is I got an autograph for him, and then I lost the fucking autograph. Nice job out of me, huh? Just stupid. No one ever accused me of being smart, but it was so awesome to come out of there. And I'm looking at him, it's like, whoa, holy shit, that's Mike Muir. And he just reaches out, got his hand out, he's like, thanks for coming. I remember how big he was and how small I felt. I was like, geez. Makes me want to go lift weights. And you know what I did after that? I went straight home and drank another beer. But it was just, yeah. See, that's how you do it. All right? This goes out to some of them bands that are assholes to their fans. Appreciate the fans will appreciate you back even more. And then some people say, well, how many fans really came out of that show? It wasn't a million like whoever. No, but still. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. Of course, we know I met Mark Atkins. Warped Tour. And I'm sure I had said the story before, but I was like, hey, Mark. And see, that's how you do it. You call them by their first name, because when you've been listening to them as long as I have, and all the money you spent on them, like, hey, I can call you by your first name. We're like best friends, whether you want me to be your best friend or not. But he was like, what's up? And I remember wearing this Diamond Vogel shirt. Diamond Vogel paints. In fact, that ends up being the shirt that all these bands have signed. And he's like, oh, a painter. I'm like, no. And then this guy walks by. And I'm trying to remember how I got this Diamond Vogel paint shirt. I don't remember, to be honest with you. But I wasn't a painter. But this guy walks by with a beer, and he's like, hey, can I get a drink of that? And the guy turns around. I think he was just in shock. He's like, yeah. Mark drinks the whole fucking beer. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything else from Mark Atkins of Guttermouth, right? And he hands back the beer. Thank you. Just beautiful. And they were so good. Guttermouth was so good live. They were such assholes too. They're in Kansas City, it's like Kansas City, home of the homos, which I know is politically incorrect to say nowadays, but they were just having fun, okay? And I don't have anything against homosexuals either, just like Guttermouth, okay? It was just a joke, but anyway. Of course, I just got done meeting Scott Radinsky, Chris, Pulley. Only took me 2.5 decades. But it happened. Yes, it did. It happened. Yeah. Still can't believe it happened. Real Big Fish. Met them. The only thing that was weird is only one guy signed the shirt. Another time I just got distracted or something. And I hope I'm saying his name right. Scott Klopfenstein or Klopfenstein. Played the horn. He was in the horn section, played guitar, sang. Really talented musician, really cool. And I remember saying, hey, thanks, Scott. You're welcome. Thanks for coming to the show. Gotta love that. Of course, we know the Bouncing Souls. I got the picture. And Brian, the bass player, drew the picture on my shirt, a couple pictures. Met Greg, the lead singer. It was... And, of course, I got the tattoo on my arm. And that picture, Greg's looking at my arm going, wow, stalker. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah. I'm kind of smiling right now just thinking about all this. And some people still don't believe this, but I did meet Steven Tyler and Joe Perry of Aerosmith. It's when I was working at a movie theater in Atlanta, when I was going to college down there. And I'm not a huge fan of Aerosmith. Never have been. I'm not saying that they suck or that they're not a legendary band. I know they've got millions of fans around the world. I've just never been a huge fan. But I met Steven Tyler one day, and then I met Joe Perry the next. Now, Steven Tyler came in with his girlfriend, a blonde, and a baby. And guess what happened when they left? Well, that baby took a giant shit, and they left the dirty diaper in the movie theater. They were the only people in the movie theater during that time. Come on. And I'm going to be mean here. Steven Tyler is as ugly as in person as he is on TV. I know that's mean, and I know some people will say, well, who the fuck do you think you are, Ryan Gosling? Pretty fucking close. Facts. I know, I'm just kidding, but seriously, like, short and ugly. Know why this chick is with him, right? We know. And it's okay, I'm not hating on her, but the next night, I get to meet Joe. He was looking for which theater to go into, because, some movie theaters are confusing. You got, like, 7 or 8 different places you can go to see a movie and all that. Hey, what theater do I go into to watch this movie? Because he's from Boston. He's wicked awesome. But I am thankful for one thing. He had his shirt on. How many fucking times have we seen this guy in a video out in the middle of nowhere, the desert, the mountains, playing a guitar solo with his shirt off? We get it. You're 60 and you're still in shape. But leave the fucking shirt on, Joe. Don't be a dick. Don't be a dick. I'm just kidding. They're not terrible. They just, I just never got into them like everybody else. All right? They've done more in their life than I will ever do. All right? They get my respect for that, but I just don't get it, okay? And yes, I did meet them because I've told that to a couple people. Yeah, nice story. Sure. Yeah, you met Brad Pitt there too, didn't you? Fuck. Anyway, Municipal Waste. Got to meet them because they opened up for Gore 2010 in Des Moines. And it was weird because I was like, Tony. And then I couldn't remember the bass player's name. I feel bad. And he was with him. They both just signed the shirt. Now, the bad thing about that is that their names kind of wore off. Not their fault, and really not mine. It's because during the show, when Gore played, Dad, a.k.a. Odor Shurungus, shot semen and blood all over it. You could still see a little bit of it. And yes, what a regret right there, huh? I should have met Odorous, my dad. Like I mentioned before, I got distracted. I just went, Dave, it's your illegitimate son. Come here. Sign my fucking shirt. But, yeah, that shirt's got blood, semen, Real Big Fish, Mark Atkins, Bouncing Souls. It's just an awesome shirt. I didn't have Scott sign it. I don't know why. Not thinking at the time because I got my fucking picture taken with him. All right. Then Roger Murray. Agnostic Front. They opened up for the Dropkick Murphys. 1999 at Harry Mary's. And then it was the Safari Club. And now it's a fucking Irish bar. Not hating on the Irish. Seriously, I'm not. I'm part Irish. But how many fucking Irish bars do we need in this town? Harry Mary's was awesome. It was actually a lot like Reggie's Rock Club, where I seen Bully in Chicago. Smaller venue. Go to another room and you got the bar. And then, of course, one of the world's worst bathrooms where you would never take a number 2 unless you're about to explode. It's that bad. But I miss that place. Yeah. And I remember his van. It's like New York City on the side of it. And there it was in Des Moines, Iowa. And he was probably like, wow, Des Moines, Iowa. How'd I end up here in the middle of fucking nowhere? And, of course, I met the Dropkick Murphys, too. Really cool, nice guys. They hung out with everybody at the bar. And Joe Queer at that same Reggie's Rock Club a decade ago. And I remember the big barrel of 16-ounce PBR and Busch Light. They didn't have that at the Pulley show. Yeah, times have changed, but I was like, wow, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. $4 beers. And Busch Light. I grew up on Busch Light. I was like, Joe Queer knows what was up, right? And, of course, bought the shirt, the Queer shirt, and then he signed it. And I remember, hey, Joe, how about them California bands? Fuck California, a bunch of pussies. Yes! I just had to say that just to get him going. Hey, I love band. We know. 3 of my favorite bands are from California. 3 or 4, 5, 6, whatever. But it was just to get him going because he had the song about, you know, all the punk rock from California and all that shit. But the cool thing about that is pretty fucking awesome, that most of the bands and musicians that I like and have listened to my whole life, and then I meet them, they've been really cool. How disappointing would that be to meet somebody that you've listened to your whole life and then they turn out to be a cocksucker? Kind of like that one guy, Fat Mike, who's a dick. He was a dick to trailer trash. That would have sucked if that had been me and I met him. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you. I gave away the t-shirt, by the way, the NoFX t-shirt. I gave it to my kid. I don't think he has it anymore either. But that would be a huge disappointment. And hopefully, I won't be disappointed if I ever get the chance to meet this next group of people. And these are the ones that I would love to meet. And hopefully it happens someday. And I'm going to start this list off with a surprise, maybe. You'd be like, wow, that's how you start this list off? You know how I do this. NWA, Dr. Dre, Ice Cube, MC Ren. Love to meet all 3 of them guys. Unfortunately, we know can't meet Eazy-E. Rest in peace. But I would love to meet those 3 guys. I mean, Dr. Dre, not a huge fan of Eminem, but all the millions of fans of Eminem wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Dr. Dre. Smart dude, right? Talk about transitioning a career after NWA. He did. So did Ice Cube. Another smart guy. And I know some people rip on him for his some of his movies. I don't like all of his movies. I like some of his movies. I think he's a cool dude, though. Love to meet him. Now, MC Ren, I don't know what he's up to these days. I think he's just kind of chilling. I seen a video of him doing an interview with a guy, and he had a story about Eazy-E running off a porch with a gun or something. But yeah, and I'm gonna show my age here. But have we really had anything that's ever topped Straight Outta Compton? We haven't. All this shit that all the kids hear now, we heard fucking 30 years ago, I'm telling you. I'll never forget the first time I heard it. I was like, holy shit. I have to remember, from Iowa, okay? Seatown, Iowa, Sheraton. So I get off the bus in Atlanta, and it's a culture shock. And my roommate, Ricky, puts in, he's like, hey, you ever heard this? Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube. I was like, holy shit. Wow, this is... No, I've never heard anything like this. And do we get shocked by anything anymore? No. Just doesn't happen. And I could just imagine it. Like Ice Cube. Hey, Ice Cube, what's up? Turns around, he sees me, and I got my fist out. What's up, my man? He's probably like, who the fuck is this fruitcake, right? I mean, I wouldn't blame him. But, yeah, would love to meet all three of them guys. Next on the list, Chuck D. Public Enemy. That's right. Follows me on Twitter. I follow him. This guy just knows his music. It's so cool. He'll post stuff about underground groups and musicians, trying to get notoriety to him. Just a hell of a good dude because, and let me tell you something, the history of music, he knows it. He knows all of it. And Bring the Noise, song with Anthrax. When he's rapping over that heavy guitar and the drums, yeah, you got Flavor Flav coming in, yeah, boy, and then Chuck D, bass, hello, can you go? That's right, what a brother, no. Just fantastic. And not ripping on Run DMC, but that collaboration is so much better than Aerosmith, Run DMC. Walk this way, talk this way. I just didn't really care for that. I liked Run DMC's parts. I did. I'm going to quit ripping on Aerosmith, okay? But that song, Bring the Noise, perfect. And this is how cool Chuck D is. I mentioned this before. Did a show with the Beastie Boys and Murphy's Law. Yes, that same Murphy's Law. That's how cool Chuck D is. Like, hey, Murphy's Law, hardcore punk group, yeah. I'll fucking do a show with them because that's how I roll. And, yeah, I would just... Awesome to meet that guy. This next one's kind of obvious, isn't it? Well, it should be. Strung Out. I've been listening to them as long as I have Pulley. And just like Pulley, if I seen Strung Out, I'd be calling by the first name. Jason, singer. Jason, what's up? Jason Cruz? Oh, hey, yeah. It's Dan. Come on, just sign this shit. Or see Rob and Jake, the guitars. What's up, homies? Shred that shit. Chris, bass player, what's up? I cannot lie, though. Jordan Burns, not the drummer anymore. Don't get me wrong, because RJ kills it, but I'd still want to meet Jordan Burns. I think a lot of people know him at this point, but there for a while, people were like, who's Jordan Burns? Well, he played on the first 3 Pulley albums, plays in Strung Out, and he's one of the best drummers in the world. He really is. And of course, the old school guys be like, well, he ain't no Neil Peart. And then the new school guys that, well, he ain't no Travis Barker. Yeah, he is Travis Barker and more. Just saying. Parry grip. Nerve herder. Would love to have a beer with Parry grip. The one thing I like about Parry is, first off, I think Bad Field Trip, like a lot of the songs that we sang and we wrote, I think are a tribute to Perry Grip. I think he was the most influential as far as me playing the guitar because he keeps it simple. I'm pretty sure he can't read music, same as me. The words rhyme, but he's funny. And I love all the songs about masturbation because I think a lot of guys can relate to that. And don't be ashamed. Don't be ashamed, men. We all masturbate. We do. It's just... And I like the fact that a guy will write a lot of songs about that. How awesome. I would love to meet every guy in Nerf Herder. Seriously, but Perry Grip especially, because, like, dude, you're the reason that I wrote the song Sundays in Iowa. Or, hey, you're the reason I wrote the song I'm Stupid and So Are You. And he's the reason I wrote Singers Are Retarded. And I'm sure Perry Grip would say, well, you're welcome, scumbag. Next guy, Danny Nastasi Monkey Pup. And just like Nerf Herder and Strung, I'd love to meet the whole band, but especially Danny Nastasi. A guy, a guitar player who I just love his guitar tone. I think he has the perfect guitar tone on all of his albums. Thick, heavy, crunchy. But when he wants to, and he doesn't do it a ton, but when he wants to, he can rip a solo as good as anybody. But he can do all the fast riffs, the slow, heavy riffs, change tempo at the drop of a hat. And just so under the radar. And I get it. A lot of it has to do with the fact that he wasn't in any huge bands. And especially at the time, in Mucky Pup, underground band, no one was really listening to him. But like if I was a really good guitar player, which I'm not, I'm mediocre, but if I was a really good guitar player, that's the way I'd want to sound. His guitar. Would love to meet Danny Nastasi. And I'm sure he has that East Coast accent. I'd be, hey, and we have the same name. What's up? What's up, Dan? It's Dan. He'd say, how you doing? Danny Nastasi. Guitarist for Monkey Pup. How you doing? I don't know how he'd talk, but anyway, still be cool to meet him. Next guy, another East Coast guy. I'm always ripping on the East Coast, and most of these people I'm talking about are from the East Coast. Jimmy Gestapo, lead singer from Murphy's Law, and the voice behind Grand Theft Auto 4. My son used to play, and he'd always turn it to the hardcore station because Jimmy Gestapo was the DJ, and we would just crack up at all the shit that he would say. But Jimmy Gestapo still getting after it, touring, you know, Murphy's Law doing all these little shows. He's never changed. He is who he is. And his interviews, he's so cool. He just tells it like it is. And he just... There's not a lot of guys left like him anymore, right? And the music industry has changed so much. It's even harder for bands like them to make it. These lower level bands, nobody fucking buys albums anymore. These bands record albums, but nobody buys them. It's all downloading shit. That's a band I'll probably never get to see, and it sucks. And of course, none of the original members are left. But it would definitely be amazing to meet one of the original hardcore guys from the 80s. 3 decades later, still getting after it. Next one, and I can't believe this didn't happen. This kind of goes back to Odorous and Dave. Odorous, a.k.a. Dave Brocky. Mike Dirks. Guitarist, Ballsack, Gore. the man behind America Must Be Destroyed, one of the greatest albums ever recorded. Like, this guy has been doing it like a lot of these guys I'm talking about for 3 decades now. Recording so many different, and this is about to spit some facts. Gore has never recorded the same album. Each album is always like a little different. Some are heavier than others, a little more thrashy. Some are all over the place, but they can play anything, right? And I would love to meet Pustulus too. That'd be awesome. And the drummer, Brad Roberts is his real name. Michael Bishop, the old beefcake, who is now the lead singer, Blothar. But Mike Dirks, he's that rhythm guitar behind all those great songs. How awesome it would be to meet him. Seems like a really nice guy too, really laid back. Everyone gets a little up in arms about all the lyrics and the fake blood, semen, and decapitations, and ripping fetuses out of the womb and all that on stage. But when you get down to it, Gore are just a bunch of nice guys playing their music, trying to make a little money. Seriously. And if I'm going to meet Gore, who else is there left for me to meet? You guys have to know the answer to this one. Steel Panther. I would love to meet all 4 of them guys. Styx, Lexi, Satchel, and Michael Starr. And when I meet them, I would say the same things they say to everybody else. I'd be like, hey, Satchel, what's up? What's up? You got any blow? No. But got a couple girls. What's their names? Well, who cares? You're right. I don't get names of women before I sleep with them. Just all the jokes that they do. Because I don't take them seriously like some people do, like fucking Motley Crue. Relax. It's okay to laugh. And I'm so glad that we have bands like them around. I've said that 1,000 times. But wouldn't you love if you could play their instruments like they could and sing like that? Wouldn't you have fun being a parody band like that? Who wouldn't want to do that? These bands that take that shit seriously like they're making fun of them, they're not. Have fucking fun with it. Hey, who wouldn't want to be in a band and just talk about doing coke and banging strippers and having fun every day and getting paid for it? Yeah, maybe not everybody. I guess I'm different. Well, I know I'm different, but Steel Panther, yes, have to. That's a must. And I listed two more people that aren't related to the music industry. And one of them is Kim Eternity. It's because it's a lady I've talked about quite a bit. Seen a lot of her videos. She's been an actress for a while. An adult actress. But I've talked about her so much, I think other people are like, I want you to meet her so I don't have to fucking hear about her anymore. Like my son, he's like, Dad, really? Kim Eternity? It's kind of a joke, but seriously, it'd still be cool to meet her. We're probably about the same age anyway. I think we are. And my last one, Vitaly Klitschko. Yes, the former heavyweight champion of the world. I think the greatest chin, period. Never knocked down in any fight. I'm not going to get into that debate about who's the greatest of all time. That's not for this podcast. But name my son after him. And I know some people, wow, you named your son after a dude from the Ukraine. Yes, I did. He's a doctor, speaks 4 different languages. He's wrote books. He ran for political office. And this is one cool fact. He has a son whose name is Daniel, which is actually my real name. So I have a son named Vitaly. He's got a son named Daniel. Be like, hey. And he's 6'7", so I can just imagine what that would look like if we met, right? He'd be like, holy shit. You're a flyweight. But, oh, how awesome would that be? I don't know. I'd probably pee my pants. That'd be embarrassing, but I probably would. And there you go. That's just a small list of people that I would love to meet before I die. Probably not going to happen. That's kind of a hard list to complete. If that's a bucket list, there ain't no way that bucket list is getting finished. But, hey, we all have dreams, right? You go ahead and dream. There's nothing wrong with that. I do it every day. All right. Hope you enjoyed that one. Hope you're entertained. You know I do this. Take it easy, and if it's easy, take it twice.